Episode 119, Business Growth Through Events, Social Media, and Sales Funnels. I'm going to start that all over again.
We do that a lot, don't we?
We thought our levels were good.
Live on the radio.
You're not hearing me, are you? All right, because I'm not hearing myself very well. So
You're fine. No, it was just really loud.
I'll
I was like, oh
turn
my
it up,
goodness.
turn it. There you go.
And
Okay.
we're going to do it live.
Yeah, we're going to do this live. All right.
Good thing I
You're
didn't
going to cut
record.
that out, right?
Oh, yeah, and then we'll use it for our social media content instead.
Nice. Ready?
Go ahead.
Episode 119, Business Growth Through Events, Social Media, and Smart Sales Funnels. Everyone talks about social media and ads, especially Matt Hansen, the co-host here of this podcast, because he is a digital marketing professor. But some of the most powerful marketing strategies for growth and sales happen when you bring people together in the real world. In this episode of Mastering Local Marketing, we break down why running your own event can completely change how customers discover you, trust you, and buy from you. From turning one night into months of social media content to building partnerships that expand your reach, events are more than just gatherings. They are sales engines hiding in plain sight. If you want new ways to drive business growth, strengthen your marketing strategies, and create experiences that convert faster than traditional advertising. In this episode, we will challenge you how to think about events, content, and community, because sometimes the fastest path to sales is not another post. It is building the room yourself. Matt Hansen, how you doing?
I am good. I keep joking. I keep adding one or two sentences to that description every week to see how long I can get you to read.
Well, I know it's only,
You're going to start it, and then it's going to go, okay, and in
And
the
that's the
beginning,
pod.
there
Yeah.
was lights and all that stuff.
I have a mild case of dyslexia, and it has always been difficult for me to read out loud, which sounds odd in that I've been talking on the radio for 40 years, right? But
I'm here to challenge you.
I very
You're
rarely
good.
read because of that.
Yeah.
But we have a couple of guests
We
today.
do. We have a couple students with us today.
All right.
So, do you want to do the intros, or you want me to do the intros?
Kat, how are you? I mean, Kat, how are you? Sorry.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, you're good.
Excited
I'm
to be
sorry.
here.
It says,
Welcome.
anyways.
Yeah.
Welcome.
This is what it is.
Your name, Kat?
Yes, Catherine Swears. I'm a senior here.
At PNW. What are you
Yes.
studying?
I'm studying business management and entrepreneurship.
Why?
There is not many women in the male-dominated business field, and I'm here to change that.
Heck yeah.
What do you see 5-10 years from now?
I never could be controlled as a child, so I knew from day one that I have to be my own boss, and I want to create my own business, whether that be, a legacy I can carry on for my future or for myself now. So
You got one in your head now?
possibly. I'm on the women's golf team at PNW, so that
So
could
you
be-
have a lot of time to walk down the fairway thinking these
yes,
things up, right?
that is true. Stuck with
And
my thoughts a lot.
what is your handicap?
Give or take, on the day with the stress levels and everything, but college competition is a real deal breaker. I'd give or take 10, but we're shooting 80s. I
You
get
are
that.
shooting
Yes,
80s
we are
at some of the
shooting 80s,
some of the
yes.
top courses in the Midwest, sure. And where did you play high school golf?
I went to Lowell High School.
You went to Lowell, so that
Yes.
meant we have. What do you
Got
like?
some region
Red
rats.
Devil.
I bet you guys didn't know that Matt Hansen went to Lowell High School, and he was a stud athlete there.
I don't know about stud, but I was an athlete.
So you played golf. Well, let's see. What's the home course there? Let me guess. I don't know. Maybe Summer Tree or Pheasant Valley
Oh,
isn't
man,
there.
Pheasant Valley is
You
well
go-
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mini Maness.
Mini Maness.
Yes.
Oh, you went
Oh.
across the state line.
Yes, we did.
They let you do that?
Mm-hmm.
God,
It's a good track over there.
There's really no golf course right there in Lowell. There used to be South Shore on Cedar Lake, which was one of those golf courses when you're standing on a tee, you have to look from like 4 different directions.
Yes.
That somebody wasn't hitting the ball at a green and hitting it errantly and catching you. I got hit there once in the buttocks, standing on the tee, and it was just like a shooting range. I'm like, how do they let people play? And I think that's why they closed it down. But
Yes, I was going to say that one is closed down too.
Yes, and you never even heard of Monastery. That was a really good golf course too, and they're all gone. But Pheasant Valley was certainly the best one down there. And your name, please?
Yes, my name is Lydia Aldebain. I am a double major in marketing and business management with a concentration in entrepreneurship and a minor in digital marketing. A mouthful. A lot. Studying a lot.
So you've taken a lot of Matt Hansen's classes?
Honestly, just one. This is my first one, believe it or not.
And you're getting a digital marketing
minor.
I have grandkids, and they're evidently in need of getting picked up, so we'll just put that down here. But so you deal a lot with AJ?
Yes, I've had her for a couple of classes, and love it. I absolutely love it.
So I'm just curious, why are you leaning toward entrepreneurship? That usually, to me, that kind of people find that a little bit more after school, but you guys glommed onto it early on, right?
1,000%. And I would say that in high school, my passion for it really evolved. I did plenty of business competitions in high school. I competed, and it had more of that entrepreneurship base kind of thing. So, and I also have a lot of role models into the entrepreneurship world. Loved watching Shark Tank growing up. So it's always been a part of me in some sort of capacity. And I also love marketing. I love anything that has to deal with social media marketing, planning. I'm actually working part-time as social media student worker for the university. So the posts for the university, I get to curate and post and help out with the marketing department. So I'm getting some experience within that and kind of building that marketing and entrepreneurial skill. And I just want to, put that into my future, whatever I, decide to do after college, and just go with it.
Somebody asked me recently, that's what we do here. Adriana is starting her podcast network, or has it running.
Yeah.
She's kind of running it, and kind of later in life, I decided to start up a streaming sports network.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And somebody asked me once, well, what's it really like to be a VC, entrepreneurship, trying to disrupt the market? Mm-hmm. And the only suggestion I could have was take a clothespin, put it on your nose, go stand in the corner until you can't take it any longer, and then stand another 8 hours.
Right.
And then maybe the pain will go away, or you'll be able to take the clothespin off. I guess what I'm saying is that there is just so much resilience that is needed. It's not just innovation. It's not just following the 8 steps. It's not just putting together a great pitch deck or learning how to put a safe agreement or a convertible note. All of these are part of it, but no one tells you when you go into these things exactly how long it's going to take and how long you're going to feel like you got punched in the face over and over. Does that make any sense? I don't want to discourage you. I just want to be realistic about it. Matt's working with, helping us, and we see it. It's like, gosh, we have so many strides, but at the same time, it's always a little bit it's out of your reach, it seems like. So you ready for that? You ready for that kind of patience, or is it I got to have it now?
I'm ready. You know what?
Can you pull that mic up just slightly to you? A little bit closer. There you
go. I would say that in high school, I was definitely more of right when I get out of high school, I want to be there, right at the top. And then, in college, and really learning of the patience it takes and the consistency of it all. It's consistent, and I had to learn that over the years, and you just have to be patient with it. And I've learned that a lot, and I'm ready for that patience however long it'll take. If it's 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, I want to remember my life that at least I tried. That is my mindset.
And where was that high school?
Crown Point High School.
So you went to Crown Point. Did they have an entrepreneurship program or a marketing program?
So they essentially, I don't know if you've ever heard of the organization Business Professionals of America.
I have.
So we had that organization in as a part of our high school, and you get to go to, the regional competitions and the state competition, and they had different types of competitions you could go into, if that's entrepreneurial based, or it can even get into the medical field, because obviously business, it can go into anything.
Especially around here, there's a lot of medical.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So they did have certain things. It just depends on, what you're interested in and what you're passionate in. And I would say that entrepreneurship based kind of competition was what I was interested in the most.
So you guys are working on the Big Sell.
Yes.
Explain, Kat, what the Big Sell is. She of 10 handicap. I straddled single digits, and then 10, 11. I get down to like 7.5, and now I'm like 14. So it doesn't matter. But what's the Big Sell?
So the Big Sell is essentially our annual P&W pitch competition. This year is going to be our 15th annual competition. Essentially, it's a chance to win $10,000 in 6 minutes. It's going to be open to students, community, any stage idea, and through the College of Business and the students of Entrepreneurship 401, we are going to be hosting that and managing it. Essentially, students and whoever would like to enter submit a 2-minute pitch process, and that will be open between March 1st and March 22nd. Between the entrepreneurship students, we are going to select the top 10 finalists out of all of those 2-minute submissions, and from there, the top 10 finalists will go on May 2nd. The Big Sell will be happening. They will present a 6-minute live pitch in front of a live panel of judges. And we do have our judges selected. Lydia?
Yes.
Would you like to tell us who we are having?
Yes. We're having Allison Straka, who actually was...
Frozen Fresh?
Yeah, Frozen Garden.
Yeah.
Frozen
Garden. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I say that, and every time she corrects me, I'm sorry.
No, you're so good.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have Landon Young from Elevate Ventures, which is angel investor, and then Jason Williams, which is the CEO of the Society of Innovation. So those are going to be our 3 judges, and it's very exciting.
Yes.
I think that it's going to be a great turnout, but of course that comes with the planning of it all and the intricate details of event planning, consistency, accountability, and that's what we're essentially doing as student event managers. And me and Kat, we're going to be the MCs for the Big Sell. So while it's streaming, we're going to be the people of the flow of it all, seeing how it's going to go, making sure that everyone is in check. How are we going to do this successfully? But of course that takes a process and a process of planning, and that's what we kind of wanted to talk to you guys about today.
So that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Is a lot of times Matt and I talk about Facebook ads, emailing, SEO.
Yeah.
We also talk about buying local advertising, and also about podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not altogether sure we've ever talked about holding an event.
Mm-mm.
I mean, this is giving me like I feel like the Wicked Witch right now, throwing water on me, because I don't want to. Host. I've got a radio station, TV station. We do all that. I try to stay away from events.
You like to sit in a room by yourself. We got that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
exactly.
Kind of like you.
I do. But every once in a while, you got to throw an event, right?
Every once in a while, you got to throw an event, and you got to throw on a sport coat a lot of times, and you got to wash your hair, and you've got to be really nice to
Appreciate
people.
that.
What does that, putting all that stuff on, do for a business?
Yeah, so I used to have a mentor that told me, whenever times are slow, throw a party, right? So throw an event, throw something together. And we used to look at our 12-month schedule, and we would be busy. You'd be busy during the holidays. You'd be busy during kind of like Easter time. You would be busy during these areas, but then you had this lull in traffic. You had this lull in sales. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with the podcast, right? So the podcast, obviously, there's a lot of people that drop off in the summertime. So there's all these things that are going on, right? But when you look at events, the way to look at it is you can predict when sales are traditionally going to happen, when people are going to walk into your into your business, or make the phone call, right? If you're, your HVAC buddy, you know that when it gets hot and when it gets cold, those phones are going to ring like crazy. But there's the lull, and when it's 60, 70 degrees outside, you're not going to get the phone calls like you normally would. So what is it that you can do to kind of stimulate those purchases at that time, right? So what we're talking about is events, and what we used to say is, if we're bored and we're standing around waiting for a customer to come in, it's time to throw an event, throw a party, throw an after hours thing, whatever it may be. And we used to do that all the time. So we would have all these different events in these slow periods because it would drive traffic in and your sales would go up. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because as you said, most of the time we're talking about social media and email and, driving traffic to our website. And really what we're doing is we're sitting there waiting for individuals to come to us. What people are looking for, and the two of you can jump in on this, is you want something to do, right? Like Jim, you're always jumping from event to event to event, right? You're like, oh, I got to go here today, and I got to go here to hear, the mayor, and I got to, right? So there's all these different events that are going on. But, if you're sitting there and you're waiting for social to take hold, you're staring at a door, or you're staring at the phone for people to start making a phone call. If you're inviting people to an event and you make the event fun, it relates to these individuals, then you're going to get people that are walking in. And when people walk in and you're giving them, we talked about the law of reciprocity last week. The idea is you give them some food, you give them some good time, some entertainment, and all of a sudden the cash register starts to ring. So that's what we're talking about today, is that most people put money into social and wait. What we're trying to do here is let's put energy and money into an event that draws people through the door or onto the phones, however we're looking at this, right away, and then we can build off of that, right? So that's where I wanted to go today with this one, and I don't know what your thoughts are, but what's the last event that you went to? I mean, any of you?
I remember for school, the Women in Business brunch. It was an event for obviously women, and
Right.
celebrating just the leadership, and I'm pretty sure the College of Business hosted it, and I could tell definitely from the minute that I got there, lots of planning went into it, and it felt like we were all important. And I think that's really, really, really important for whenever you decide to make an event. You have to put the time and the effort so people feel included, so it brings people back. So now I know that for this year, I'm definitely going to go back to that event, because it was just so incredible last year. The people that were planning it, the people that I talked to, all the intricate details from it, from walking in, the visuals, the food, whatever that may be a part of it. I've definitely learned that from just going to various events, but from that specific one, I'm like, okay, I see that.
But let's put this into perspective, right? So if you were to go to a Women in Business event that was running, maybe you're watching a video on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube,
Right.
you don't feel connected, right?
Yeah.
But when you walk into an actual location, somebody embraces you, starts talking with you, welcome, you need to meet XYZ, all these different things. You feel part of a little community, a little tribe, right? So what we're saying here is the event part of it will actually bring your customers closer to you.
Yeah.
And they'll start asking, when's the next event? When can we, what are you looking to do? And we used to do a ton of these all the time, right? So we would have a Mother's Day event where we had all kinds of different things, from pampering and massages and facials and all this other stuff in this.
Right.
And it wasn't for me, right? I just kind of stood there and helped in any capacity I could. But Mother's Day was never a huge time for sales for us. So we knew we just had to get people in the door. As you start to get into the summer, things, there's a lot of people walking around and doing different things, but, sales typically went down in the summer. So how do you start to boost some of those things up? So we used to do furniture sales where we would get a container of furniture that would come in, and it was one-off pieces, and when it was gone, it was gone. We would do print sales, and we would have them all over outside so people would see what's going on here, and we would invite everyone in, and we would do thousands and thousands of dollars over a weekend that we normally wouldn't do any business, right? So that's what I'm saying here is that we need to look at it from it's a connection and it's getting people involved, right? But when we flip it to the social media side, I know you guys are planning the big sell right now.
Yes.
You're probably out there promoting it in some capacity, which is why you're here.
Yes.
But you're probably promoting it on social media. So you have the before, you have the during, and then you have the after, right? So you create almost 90 days of content when you're doing an event. So just because you do an event, you promote it a little bit, and then you have the event, most people forget about it. They don't necessarily follow it up with things. But you can literally build 90 days of content, the 30 days leading up to it, the day of the event or the weekend of the event, whatever it may be, and then continually going beyond that with just different content of, user-generated content that you create as you're going through it, right? So as you guys are hosting the big sell, you could create user-generated content where you're talking with each one of the participants. What are their thoughts on it? How easy was it to participate? What are you anticipating? Where are you taking this company in the next, 3, 6, 9 months, right? So there's all of this opportunity with throwing one single event that most people don't look at, but you're creating a community by doing this. Make sense?
It makes sense, but
You're still not doing it.
Well, I mean, I've been to every big sell, and we've hosted it and worked with Mont and with the guy before it, Nico.
Niaz?
No, it was, geez.
Okay.
He started it before Mont.
All right.
Yeah, and I saw him the other day, and it's kind of evolved from almost kind of like a dinner. Then it went online, and now you guys are trying to maybe get a little bit more event part of it because it really became just an online event.
Right.
And you want to have it at a place where people can come? Is that am I getting that, or you just want to keep it online?
So we are going to be streaming it, and it's more so of I guess it's somewhat intimate in the sense that it's the judges, it's the participants, it's, who's managing it. So it is mostly online. And that's where we're trying to get the most traction is to, for people to watch it, stream it, as well as get a look of, the students at our university, what they're doing, how they're doing it. And, it's a pretty big event, and it's kind of like how I see it as Shark Tank. It's a pitch competition. You have the chance of winning real prize money. It's, and I think that locally, like even high schoolers who want to go into the, business field or the entrepreneurship kind of sector of business, seeing that people are doing it locally, I feel like it's very uplifting, and it will give people, that motivation to actually try. And like entrepreneurship in itself, it's very risky. It takes a lot of time and planning. And I feel like a lot of people quit before even starting because it's so vast. It's going to take that patience, like you said before. It's going to take, all of these things. But seeing this online, seeing people actually do it in real life, hey, maybe I can try that. Hey, maybe what can I do if it betters the world, or if it's, combating, a social issue, or if it, whatever it is, just in itself, it's motivating and it's captivating. And I think that's what we're trying to sell to our target market. And that's just essentially,
let's talk about that target market. Now, I know exactly, having taken 2 of his classes and then having done 119 episodes of Mastering Local Marketing,
right,
that one of the things he's going to press on you is to somehow collaborate with people who have similar audiences. Now, looking at the big sell, I mean, I'll just give you what I would immediately think of is Chrissy LaFletch over here at Munster with there is an entrepreneurship / DM person at Crown Point, and I forget who that is, but you can they are similar audiences. Certainly, leveraging Landon, who has huge amounts of contacts in the field, along with Cy Magnin and some of the other people there that are at Elevate. Somehow, I would say, well, hey, can you help us out, especially as students? Anytime you go, hey, you got any ideas? Oh, maybe we could do this, maybe we could do that. That would be two starts, but eventually, Matt, you're going to tell them they got to collaborate, right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of collaboration that you can do. I mean, different similar audiences collaborate. I mean, even if there's, if there's something here at the radio station with, things that you guys are doing. I mean, there's a simple collaboration.
Your collaboration right here is with someone that is, I don't know if you're in this class.
In the same class.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, you're in what class?
Not in the one that they're
right.
doing.
Okay, but you guys are in the podcast class? No,
I am.
You are?
I am.
And what's your podcast going to be about?
Basically life in your 20s, unfiltered conversations, how to navigate through life in this specific era of your life. So
what's yours going to be about? She turned her mic off so she could do her homework.
No, I'm editing that interview that we just had this morning, and those are going to get posted today. If you guys are listening, go to all of our socials and all that. Mine is going to be, it's called Between Takes. So it is similar to theirs, and it's more so how I view what I'm doing here, what I'm doing in school, and just the challenges that Gen Z is facing, especially
so you guys are both kind of
area,
kind of in the same area. Yes.
I know
you and I need to do one beyond your 50. How we're exhausted, how we've been down the
always tired. Why am I always tired? No, that's interesting to me, because when Adriana hosts the morning show, she's basically, I would say, gained more confidence over the last few months. And a lot of the listeners are kind of older, and they just kind of ripping on her at times.
Well, I was telling
I don't know why.
I was telling him.
I think they don't understand youth, and they think you're dumb or something.
I was telling him that the caller that called in, they're like, what is she even doing here? She doesn't belong here. I had 2 podcasts already recorded, ready to go. I scrapped them. And I was like, nope, this is going to be the beginning of the podcast. What am I even doing here? Hey, I'm going to tell you guys, here's my life story. We're supposed to do 10 podcasts. Make it into 30. Let's go.
I said we just launched the new Howard Stern.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, by the way, that you're doing that. But
thank you.
See, you also have another person in your judges that is Jason Williams.
Yes.
Jason knows everybody in the innovation and entrepreneurship
Very
world.
Connected in the high school space.
Yeah, he's in the high school space. Start with Chrissy LaFleche over here at Munster, and she knows all of them. They have a club.
Yeah.
And then Jason actually knows a lot of the Society of Innovators, like, say, I think White Lodging won it a couple of years ago. I think the IBEW won it. You won it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, we won it. We won an award last, and he's got this Rolodex. Anybody who's ever won an award will help anybody else who wants to innovate. So anyways, I just bring that up. The reason I say that for the small and medium-sized business is you got to think out of the box to find your collaborators. Who wants to help, and then, who can have an audience that could get people to my business, right?
Yeah,
so
huge.
let's go back to the sales funnel. We always have to come back to the sales funnel. Do you guys ever take his class when he talks about it? Awareness, consideration.
Lydia will see it next semester.
Okay,
over and over and over.
But it's a funnel. Adriana's heard it 100 times. You got to have awareness.
You saw it too.
Cats, and you got to do it on consideration, and then you got to do it on the close. How does that apply to running an event?
Yeah, so just like everything you do in marketing, you need to measure. So if you're sending out 500 postcards to your customers, you need to something on that postcard needs to come back for a free gift or a discount or something, right? So they have to bring the card back with them. You keep track of the number of cards that you got back for the free gift or whatever it may be. You track that back to, so now I sent 500 cards. I had 100 people come into the event. I had 50 people purchase, and I know that my average order during that was $60. Now you can measure the ROI on the entire event, right? So if you can do that, and I was just having this conversation with somebody, I think it was on Monday, and we figured out that it costs $10 to get a new customer. And I'm like, okay, why aren't we doing this more? Like, let's go, right? I said, my text message was basically, let's light it up, right?
Right.
But the idea is this, that if you're throwing an event and you're being profitable with that event, and it's in a lull time of the year, and you can go through that sales funnel and say, well, we just made $1,000 and it costs us $200 to put on the event and cost of goods sold and everything else. I get it, but we're making money. Let's run another one. Let's do another one. So that's what I talk about. Like one of my old mentors would always say, what's next? What's next? What's next? And it's because you shouldn't sit there and wait for the holiday season just to start selling. You need to look at the lulls and go, all right, if it's July, what can we do in July that's going to drive traffic in here, and let's launch it and let's test it and let's do it. And that's by looking at the sales funnel, you understand that I sent this many postcards or I sent this many emails or whatever it may be. This is how many people came in. This is how many people purchased. This is our average order. I know exactly what happened. So I would say probably 85-90% of companies don't do that.
It all comes back to counting everything. It's, we're not very good at aggregating data, but if the earlier in my mind that you can get familiar with everything has to be measured, specific, measurable, time, all that, the smart stuff in operations applies to marketing. But ultimately, Matt, what's the message? It's always for our small to medium-sized business. What is it?
Drive traffic, but realize that when we're talking about doing events, people are always looking for something to do, right? So we look at the weekend. What are we doing? I don't know. There's nothing going on, right? So we just had the Super Bowl last week. This week, you just kind of go, all right, well, let's catch up on everything that we didn't do last weekend. But I would rather go do something that excites me than clean the garage or do something like that. So realize that people are always looking for events, and if you can provide an event that people get excited over, they're going to come in, they're going to spend money, you're going to make more money, and you're going to get more customers.
There's the best example of that in the Calumet region that I can think of was sitting in that chair where you're sitting 2 days ago, and that was Josh Halpern of Albert's Diamond Jewelers. They're marrying 10 couples on Valentine's Day throughout the day. I think they had 8, and they were looking for 2 more, and I think they filled that. So there's an event that started with marrying one person, and then now you have to get a reservation to get married there on Valentine's Day. And the traffic that drives, the social media they get, I mean, the clips that we get, I mean, all of that is just massive. But it started with kind of a middling event, not a massive deal for a few years, and then all of a sudden it blossomed.
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for.
Yep.
She is Kat, and she is Lydia, and he is Matt Hansen. I'm Jim Diedlow here at WJOB, and the purveyor of the WJOB Podcast Network and the engineer of this has been Adriana Alvarez. And thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
appreciate
until
it.
next time, we'll see you later.
If you're thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or your business has plans to break ground on a new project in 2024, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's best electricians. With IBEW, Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringindiana.org today and ensure your project is in the hands of skilled professionals.
Before Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, we were being charged various maintenance fees and various check writing fees for all of our accounts. And with Notre Dame, we don't have that. We have that true community partnership. We get interest based on all of our parish and school accounts, and the interest rate is really second to none.
Have you ever considered becoming an iron worker? Local 395 is now accepting applications for their apprenticeship program. Go to ironworkers395.com. Look under the training section, click on apprenticeship, and scroll down to the application. You must be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or GED, and you must be physically able to perform the work of the trade. Find out more by calling the apprenticeship school in Lake Station at 219-962-7675 or visit ironworkers395.com.
At Albert's Diamond Jewelers, love is the heart of everything we do. That's why we're known as the Love Store. This Valentine's Day, we're celebrating the moments that matter most and the ones you'll remember forever. Explore our newly remodeled showroom with stunning pieces from David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Lagos, Mikimoto, and Shy Creations, along with exceptional watch brands and the most beautiful diamond rings. With every purchase over $99, receive a dozen roses, a box of chocolate, and a special dinner voucher. We'll see you at Albert's this Valentine's Day.
Local tax experts are here. Now you can meet with a TurboTax expert in your community.
All right, I'll take it. I was waiting for him to jump in.
I was
like,
going,
one
I
of you
was
guys are
going
gonna
to
talk,
just
right?
because you're not supposed to have dead air in radio.
I know, it drives you
You know,
crazy.
anymore. By the way, this is episode 120. We're starting a little bit.
Here's your intro.
You know, anymore, with the ease of Riverside and the other editing scene, people, you can be bad, and Riverside will go in and take out, like, if you're an or won't matter anymore. It just takes it out.
Your
And-
morning show would be cut down by an hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be 10 minutes.
I used to do 5 hours in the morning.
Yeah.
Every morning, 5 days a week, and then announce basketball and football games and all that. And I had to stretch it. So it would be like slow and methodical of what you were talking about. And now I'm on for, I think today was only an hour and a half.
Yep.
So now it's like all that's gone. But when you have to stretch it, it's and then the pace, you know, in Riverside they have that pacing thing. You don't even have to worry about pace. I used to teach when Adriana started. I was always, it's all about pace. People log into your pace and they want to get in with your pace. Now it doesn't matter. 0.95 it or 1.2 it, whatever, it doesn't matter. But this is episode 120, Outdoor Advertising Strategies Every Local Business Should Know. Everyone's obsessed with digital marketing. Yeah, they are. But some of the smartest businesses are quietly winning with outdoor advertising. Billboards, transit ads, local signage, event banners, hyper-local placements still drive awareness. Awareness, there's that word again. Influence buying decisions and support real business growth when used the right way. The problem is most businesses either ignore outdoor advertising completely or use it at the wrong stage of their strategy. In this episode of Mastering Local Marketing, we break down many types of unique outdoor advertising available today and why it still works. If you want to understand how offline visibility fuels online traffic, this episode will change how you think. He's Matt Hansen, she is Lydia, and she is Kat. And you guys are seniors?
Yes,
Both?
I'm a senior.
I'm a junior.
You're a junior,
I am.
and they're both marketing people,
Yes.
basically, right?
Yes.
I'm management. But
And
yeah.
management and
Same.
entrepreneurship.
Yes.
When we talk about local marketing, how far down is billboards on your list, by the way? Did it even make the list?
Right.
Did
Yeah,
you ever
right.
think about it? Well, I got to do Facebook ads. You got to do TikTok
Well, what's the
stuff.
last billboard you saw?
The last billboard, I'd have to say probably a law billboard or something.
there's
Yeah,
tons of 'em.
There's a million
A lot.
of those.
Yeah.
Or what's
And
another
why
one?
is
I mean,
that?
fast food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of fast
Truck
food.
stops along
truck
the
stops,
Borman.
yeah.
They have a lot of truck stop billboards. But if you get away from here, you rarely see a truck stop billboard.
Right.
It's just you know that there's 235,000 vehicles a day on 8094. This has to be one of the hottest billboard places in
yeah.
America. That's why it costs so much
Oh,
for
yeah, it's a
local
fortune.
business.
It's a
I bet
fortune.
local business can't really buy those.
Well, and that's what one of the things that most people, when they think about a billboard, is they think about a printed billboard, right? So you got to print this massive monstrosity thing that goes up on, they've got to install it. It takes a long time. It's got to sit up there for 28 days is essentially what you buy it for. And it's a process, right? So if let's say you make a typo and it's printed and it's going to sit up there for those 28 days because you can't get rid of it. It's printed, right? So that's what everyone thinks of when they think about billboards, outdoor advertising, that kind of stuff. But what I want to talk about today is how we've changed some different ideas that you're probably not thinking about when we talk about outdoor. The fact that, you can buy from your computer at this point. You can get ads up tomorrow. Like I took over Chicago almost a couple summers ago. I bought pretty much every single digital billboard I could find through the downtown Loop area. And it was funny because people are like, I'm seeing this everywhere. And I go, good, that's what I was trying to do, right? But it was one simple phone call, one simple website that I had the ability to go and do all these types of things. So you mentioned fast food. You mentioned truck stops. We mentioned lawyers, right? So let's break that down because when you talk about fast food, you talk about truck stops, what it is it's location based, right? So we're trying to get you to come off of the interstate or whatever it is, right? Like they're usually within a half mile of wherever you're trying to go. From the lawyer perspective, I mean, lawyers make a lot of money based on things. So you see, let's drop the hammer and all these other things that you see on every single billboard for a lawyer. And they're making significant dollars, which means that they can afford the return on investment that they're getting from placing a $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 billboard out there. But let's take it back. Let's look at, from a small business, what some of the opportunities that are out there, right? So there are digital billboards that we have at this point. We were talking, I think, last week about Blip, which is you can go in and put a budget in. You can select a billboard that you want to buy, upload your ad, and it's up within like minutes, right?
Remember to talk about Blip at the end of this, okay? For
notes.
a different project. But anyways,
Okay.
I agree. You can buy it online through the website.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've made it relatively simple to buy these things at this point. So digital is the new billboard, right? So you can still print them, but if you want to go digital, you're paying a fractional price for that billboard instead of paying for the full billboard, right? So it's a lot cheaper. If you want to change your artwork daily, you could do it daily if you really wanted to. If you see a typo, you can fix it real quick, right? You don't want a typo out there destroying your brand. So there's all these different things, but when we talk about digital out of home, and it's digital O, which is OOH, is the acronym that we use in the space, you can go out there and get traditional billboards. You can get the little billboards that, like, you're walking down the street and you see how those, you can buy those from literally your computer. You can get gyms, you can get restaurant, TVs, gas pumps. Like, there's all these different ones that you can have.
You know what? One of the hottest one has been for the last couple of years. You guys, Adriana, and you wouldn't necessarily know about this one, but in men's washrooms, when you go up there to stand at the urinal, I can't remember the last time I stood at a urinal that didn't have some sort of billboard in front of it. Yeah, and it's very popular. And evidently, for a while there, was really underpriced, and you were able to get a lot more views. And that. And I think it's caught up on the CPMS, but it's another one. And they're putting these basically TVs turned sideways, and that's your digital billboard.
Yeah. I've seen them in the mirrors as well.
We don't got those.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Opportunity.
Not.
Somebody out there is going to take it and run with it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, is in women's bathrooms? Is it on the back side of the door? No.
I think the only time that there's like any type of advertisement is at P&W. They have like the schedules of what's going on throughout the week everywhere. And they put them, and they call it, it's so interesting. And I don't know how nobody else has ever thought of this. It's called Toilet Times. And they do that in every single bathroom, men's and women's, all over campus.
Yep. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, no,
You know, but think about it, if you're a true entrepreneur and you're like, well, gosh, they do that in the men's room. We have to go in and sit down and shut the door. You would actually maybe just magnetize something that goes up there. It's controlled by Wi-Fi, and maybe even gets
I'm going to move this one on. Like, I don't know where we're going with this one, but this whole podcast is going in the toilet. Oh, sorry. I had to throw it.
I need my little sound thing for the
Just think about it. I mean, in the men's one, it's like there's a lot of golf courses that are doing it. There's roofing contractors. There's a lot of people looking to hire. Like, hey, I have some sort of a construction thing, and they're all on these things, right? But maybe we could do that on the inside of women's doors. All right, you don't
I'm
like that?
I'm gonna move on because there's so many things. So many
other things you do.
Yeah. All right. So another thing that we've seen the rise of Uber, DoorDash, and Lyft, right? So over the last, we'll call it 5 years, from COVID and everything that happened, we saw this rise. And with that, there's a variety of different companies that are now coming out, and they're hiring these Uber, DoorDash, and Lyft drivers to put your ads on the side of their cars. So one company that I used to use, you could just do the door, you could do like 3/4 of the car, but you could do an entire wrap. And what they do is they drive around, and I can literally track the miles of where they drive and see where they're going through the website, right? So if I buy 5 cars, I know the 5 cars drove this many miles, and here's where they went around, and I can see that all in the report that comes back. The other part, which was really cool with it, is I could send them to an event. So think in terms of, in Chicago, we have the Air and Water Show, and lots and lots and lots of people come out. Or let's say a Chicago Bears game versus the Packers. There's lots of people, and I want my ad to be seen as that thing is going on. I can actually send those cars into that area, and they'll stay in that area for, I think it was up to 2 or 3 hours, and they'll just continue to go around that area. So it's like I can literally send these ads wherever I want them to go. It's a little bit of an upcharge, but it's really kind of neat. So first and foremost, we've got Uber, DoorDash, and Lyft cars that are wrapped with your messaging. Now, people are probably going, I've seen some pretty horrible drivers out there. They take the best ones. You can't have tickets and all this other stuff. So they're finding the best drivers. So we've got those 3 different companies that now these cars are being wrapped. They have digital billboards that they'll put on the top of those cars in addition to that, which is called Uber O, and which is OOH. And, you'll see like a digital billboard, almost like a taxi cab, but they only do that for their best drivers. You can do what they call a swarm, right? So a swarm to the individual location for a set number of hours. You could track the miles. You can see where they've gone through a reporting system. And it's like all of these interesting things that you can do, but I can take it one step further. And I know this one kind of freaks people out, but your phone has a mobile ID, like a mobile ad ID on it, right? And as those cars drive past you, there's a computer system that will read your mobile ID off of your phone, and we can take those mobile IDs, upload them into a programmatic digital ad solution, and it will then go back out and target you because it knows it drove past your phone. So as Lydia's eyes get really big, I think I just...
Why?
Do you notice the
Eyebrows.
trend here? Adriana has seen it many times. Anything that invades your privacy is good marketing.
Right.
That's right. One time, Matt, this is years ago, Matt comes to me and he's like, that exact technology, he goes, man, we could sit here on Indianapolis Boulevard and get this brand new, I don't know what it is. It's kind of an RFID thing then, but now it's your cell phone. And we could know exactly who's going by, not their name and stuff, but their profile. Mm-hmm. And they have this technology. It just came out. And the first thing I said to him was, well, gosh, do you really want to be giving up that information? He went right past that to what great data that is to have about people's ID on their phone. And I've kind of come around to you. I'm like, who cares anymore, man? I just want to know who we're hitting.
Well, you give up how many times have you read a terms, let me read the terms, agree to the terms. Do you ever read it?
Come on.
Yeah, well, if you read it, it's the same with social media. It's the same with your phone. It's the same with anything. You're giving the right to a lot of things just by selecting that checkbox. So if you were to read it, you'd understand that, like, you're opening yourself up, right? So social media is free because you've given up the information that they can use to whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So I know you want us to move along, or do you have more on that?
No, go ahead.
So you live in Crown Point.
I do.
So you go downtown?
Like downtown Crown Point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you like the stencil billboards they put out on the sidewalk? You ever notice them?
I do when it's something that grabs my attention, if that makes sense.
Like what? What would grab your attention? Somebody's menu written in cursive. Probably not, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's got to be, of course it comes with the branding of it all. It's just got to have that color. It's got to have that pop to it to catch my attention. I don't know what specifically, but it's just like what you said, the cursive. No, I'm not looking at that.
So you see them a lot.
I don't know.
now.
My kids can't read cursive, so no, just kidding. They don't teach it anymore.
I was like, that would be a little
No, that's
learning.
true.
Yeah.
They
I
do
don't-
not teach
Yeah, they
it.
don't.
I don't know if a cursive stencil is going to work for
So
you.
if somebody has a place where there's enough walking traffic, what do you say to them about their stencil billboards?
Yeah, I mean, you got to realize that a sidewalk, as people are walking, if you can do whatever you can do to get them to notice you, that's what we're trying to do, right? So we're trying to generate awareness, trying to get
Lydia
people.
just said.
Yeah.
What is it?
Right. So I think I've talked about it in the past. We had our home decor store, and we bought the largest wood picture frames that we could find. I mean, they were like dark brown, elaborate, but we put a chalkboard in the middle of it, and then we created a typical sandwich board. And it was probably 3 foot by 4 foot in size. It was huge for a sandwich board, and we would write different sales and things, different events that were coming on, and we would set that out in front of the store every single day. And everyone would comment like, "Oh, I love your sandwich board. That's so unique." Mm-hmm. And it would stop people because it was so out of the ordinary. So what you're saying is, if you're doing a stencil on the sidewalk or something like that, it's got to be something that grabs your attention.
Right.
Right? Like Jim's phone.
I was gonna say it's not. Well, I don't know why it sounded like it was over here, and then
Yeah.
I have forwarded the phones here to my phone.
Yeah.
now. That's what that is. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So you're missing advertising sales right there.
I am. I feel like I'm going to run out of the
Yeah.
podcast and say that's got to be a big buy
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. You just lost that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of those stencil billboards, even in this digital world, I mean, you see a lot of them.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think people have gotten better at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got to be creative. I mean, you got to have some kind of creative way. And I saw there was a post, I think it was on Instagram a while back, and it was a realtor that had taken their yard signs that you see the typical for sale yard signs, but they had added some flair to it. It was a lot of colors. It was a lot of odd shapes. Like they had, I saw one that was kind of like a castle, and I'm like, okay, interesting, right? But why be boring? I think you got to look, how am I going to stand out? How am I going to grab the attention? I mean, we all know what a typical realtor billboard or realtor sign looks like. It's a picture of the real estate agent and their phone number and their brokerage, and that's about it, right? So I always say that I'm too ugly to be a real estate agent because I can't take that picture. But
Come on.
but it's funny. Like, can we do something that stands out, that is so drastically different that people are like, that is so cool. I want mine to be like that. And what you start to see is marketers get creative with these things, and then everyone else starts to follow. So if you can, one of the ideas that I've always wanted to work with a lawn care business, and those lawn care businesses that are listening right now, take this and run with it. I thought this would be the coolest idea. So you've got people that go around and they spray the chemicals, and then they put those little flags in, right? So you see the flag, and it's kind of bent over. It's got a white or a black flag on it, right?
Don't let the kids play
Exactly.
on the lawn for the next 7 days.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you see those. I said, why? You're trying to kill weeds, right? Mm-hmm. Why don't they make them where it looks like it's a dead dandelion? Put that in there. So it's the sign. You see the sign, it's in there, but it's a dead dandelion, and now you know that's what we were here for. We were killing that.
So you thought my idea was bad about putting magnetized screens on
No,
the
I didn't.
inside
I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't know where we were going with that. Next thing you know, we're going to be, putting little urinal pucks in and everything
Oh,
else.
my
I don't want to go.
goodness.
I don't want to go down that road.
So, I mean, always got to bring a takeaway for the small and medium-sized business owner or their marketing department. And I think you guys are probably prime chum for going into working for somebody's marketing department, at least early in your career, right? Mm-hmm. And I think what happens is many of them come out of your type of classes and they go in and then into the marketing departments, and then they're like, oh, we have to do social media, we have to do a podcast, we have to do everything online. What you're talking about is completely forgotten. Mm-hmm. So is it more of are you more like telling the small to medium-sized business to have an open mind about non-digital?
Yeah, I mean, it could still be digital if you're doing it at home, right? But I think what you're trying to do is be disruptive. I mean, I had a conversation with your sports team yesterday about, the potential of launching this campaign, and we were talking about a bunch of different things. And, outdoor was part of the discussion in the fact that, like, if you want to generate the awareness, you've got to be everywhere all at once. So, if you can create these pieces that are just everywhere. I'm getting hit online. I'm on my phone. I'm sitting at my computer, but as I'm traveling home or if I'm in my, just driving into my neighborhood, I'm getting things. Yeah, I mean, just be creative with what you can do. One of the guys that I know from years ago, he tried to start a company where he was putting ads on the back of real estate flyers, which seems like a good place to put some advertising, except nobody has real estate flyers anymore. We went to a digital world. So, like, there's all kinds of different ideas that are out there, and I'm just saying be creative. So I'll leave you with this, right? So we were talking about coffee earlier, and coffee, most of the time, we don't want to burn our hands, so you put it in a coffee sleeve. And those sleeves cost each one of those coffee shops money. Why not produce your own coffee sleeves with your brand on it and walk around to all these coffee shops and say, hey, I'm going to give you these for free, right? We'll cover the cost of what you've been paying through the whole thing. We'll cover it as long as you put these sleeves on there. That's a great partnership you create. You're solving a problem for them because now the coffee, if it's costing them $1 to make the coffee, now it's 90 cents to make the coffee.
Yeah.
Right? They're making 10 cents on each piece. Find those collaborations, and that is outdoor advertising. I mean, that is just at its most simplistic self, right? And I saw coffee sleeves recently where you had like scratch offs, and you could put offers in there for your company. So maybe it's like a discount code that you can bring them back over. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this whole podcast is, I get we're talking about outdoor, but most people think billboards. I'm saying be creative, figure out ways that you can get your message out there. And don't just look at the pre-printed billboard that sits on the side of the road.
Episode 120, Lydia and Kat and our own producer and head of the WJOB Podcast Network, Adriana, are all students at Purdue Northwest. Matt Hansen is a digital marketing professor, and I'm just a simple capitalist here along Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, Indiana. Thanks a lot, Adriana, like always. Until next time, thanks to you, and until next time, see you later.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Open 7 days a week in 4 convenient locations: Highland, Griffith, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, air freshener, and a towel with every wash. It's fast, safe, and gentle. For more information and hours of all our locations, visit myeasyclean.com. Also, see how